So, the new Hypercharges came out, and are you wondering which Hypercharge is the best Hypercharge to buy? Well, in this video, I'll tell you my opinions on all the Hypercharges and which Hypercharges I think you should buy. I'll go in an order from like 6th to 1st place. So, without wasting your time, let's get straight into the video and I'll explain my reasoning why I think so. So, starting off with number 6, we have Barry's Hypercharge. Now, don't get me wrong, this Hypercharge is pretty good. Now, the thing is, all of the Hypercharges that got released this update are really good. So, comparing to the last Brawl Talk, we had some okay Hypercharges, some not okay Hypercharges, like Daryl's, like, it's not the best Hypercharge. But all of the Hypercharges that came out this update are really good. So, I'm not saying that this Hypercharge is bad. I'm just saying it's the worst one out of all the Hypercharges that got released. So, xfrost, why did you put this Hypercharge so low? Now, the reason I put this Hypercharge so low is because, first of all, Barry's super is already wide enough, and also it's already good enough. Like, Barry's super is pretty wide, so it's pretty easy to hit your enemies. Now, the Hypercharge will make it even easier to hit your enemies, and it does cover a bit more space, but honestly, I don't think it's going to give you that much more control because his super again is already pretty wide. Like, it's very easy to hit your enemies. And that's basically the main reason why I don't think that this Hypercharge is as good as the other Hypercharges. Now, don't get me wrong, as I said, it is going to be pretty good. Another thing that's not that good is the Hypercharge doesn't stack, like the damage doesn't stack. So there's no additional profit except you have basically another super which basically gives you more area control. So what I'm basically saying is all this Hypercharge does is give you a lot more area control, and that's basically it. Alright, so now that we're done with that, let's go to number 5. And in spot number 5, we have Eve's Hypercharge. Now, don't get me wrong, this Hypercharge is really good and amazing, but out of all the Hypercharges that came out, as I said, I don't really see it as good as the other ones. And I'll tell you the reason why. So, starting off, Eve's Hypercharge basically spawns a lot of her hatchlings, and that is really amazing and really good. Especially, it's really good for control. Now, it's going to spawn about 9 hatchlings in total if no one destroys your super. Now, the reason I put this Hypercharge on spot number 5 is the new brawlers that are coming out, they have a lot of mechanics to either jump, go through walls, shoot through walls, or shoot over walls. And basically, this is just making things that you can hide behind walls just not useful anymore like it used to be in the old Brawl Stars. So I think that you can pretty much easily destroy this super spawn, and the new brawls that are going to come out, they will also be able to destroy that by either using their gadgets or somehow be able to destroy the super, even though if you're hiding it really good. And if you place your super too far, the hatchlings are just going to die. So before they even get to your enemies, they're just going to destroy themselves, which isn't good. And basically, you're going to have to place it somewhere close to where the enemies are. And a lot of the enemies can probably destroy the super. Alright, so now let's go to the next Hypercharge. Now the next Hypercharge is Hypercharge number 4, and the 4th best Hypercharge from this update is Ash's Hypercharge. Now, the thing with Ash is that Ash is not really a good brawler. Like, all the new brawlers that are coming out are a lot more stronger than Ash can ever be. Like, most of the old brawlers can even do more damage than Ash. The thing is, he's really good the more stages he's at. And at stage 3, he's actually really good. So, with this Hypercharge, he can easily get stage number 3, which can make him extremely good. The best way I like to think of it is, Ash at stage 1 is basically like stage 1 Surge or stage 1 Clancy, but when he gets to stage 3, he becomes really powerful. Just think of Clancy when he's stage 1, he's very bad, but when he gets stage 3, he's really good. Like, they just keep on nerfing Clancy because he's way too powerful. Now, if you're wondering why I put this Hypercharge above Eve's Hypercharge, and the reason is because I just like to think of this Hypercharge as a better Eve Hypercharge. Now, Eve can just spawn a lot of units or a lot of her hatchlings, but Ash actually has a lot of those rats when they spawn. But another thing that Ash gets is his stages, which makes him really good. Eve, on the other hand, has nothing, and you can pretty much destroy the super pretty easily. As I said, there are a lot of brawlers that are new that can go through walls, that can break through walls, that can attack through walls, and yeah. Alright, So now let's go to Hypercharge number 3. Now, the third best Hypercharge from this update is Gray's Hypercharge. Now, honestly, when I was watching the Brawl Talk, I thought his Hypercharge just gives his shield. And I'm like, this is probably the worst Hypercharge in this update. Well, no. Gray's Hypercharge also allows you to place another portal. Now, I can see so much potential with this Hypercharges, and you're probably going to see a lot of videos of this Hypercharge being used, being very OP, because if you can get to certain locations really quickly, now this can be OP. If you guys remember the hot zone comp that people used to run, it was basically Gray, Dog, and like Jackie. Now that comp was OP. Now, if you can combine something like that with this Hypercharge, that is just going to be broken. Another thing that makes this Hypercharge really good is it also gives you shield. So you get extra shield and you can travel to a lot of places really quickly. And that is why this Hypercharge is going to be very broken. I see so much potential in this Hypercharge. Now, let's go to the second best Hypercharge this update. Now, the second best Hypercharge this update, in my opinion, is Janet's Hypercharge. Now, honestly, when I first saw this Hypercharge, I really didn't think much of it. I didn't think it was that good. But when I took a little bit of time to think about this Hypercharge, I realized that this Hypercharge is actually really strong, or could be really strong. Now, what made me think that this Hypercharge is really OP is how you can control it in the air. Now, of course, that is basically the Hypercharge's mechanics, but that's not the thing. What I thought of straight away is how you can just control her movements. So technically, you can just target one person and just keep on attacking them with your bombs, which can be really OP if I think about it. The thing is, I don't know how easy or how hard it is to hit your shots, but if you can technically hit all your shots pretty easily, I think this can be such a strong super. Now, her super is really OP because of this Hypercharge. Her super from before and her super now is really a big difference. Now, I'm not talking about how you can control Janet. For me, honestly, that doesn't matter. The thing is how you can easily hit your shots. Now, before, if you used her super, hitting her shots was pretty hard because when you were moving, it was hard to just move into like circles or in a direction. But now, since you can control her movement, it's pretty easy to hit your shots of your super. So you can deal a lot more damage now, and her super attack damage can actually be useful instead of basically just using your super to run away. Now, if you don't understand what I'm saying, I'm basically saying that you can also use Janet's super now as a way to deal damage. It doesn't just have to be to just run away. And yeah, with that, let's go to the first best Hypercharge this update. And the first best Hypercharge this update is Melody's Hypercharge. Now, the thing about this Hypercharge is it gives Melody 6 notes, which is really OP. And the reason it's so OP is not because of how it can just shred enemies, it's because of how her star power now applies times 6, same as her gadget. So one of her star powers basically makes her faster the more notes she has. Now, if she has 6 notes, she can be really fast. Another thing is she has a gadget shield, which basically, if you have more notes, you get more shield. Now, I'm not sure if this works with the Hypercharge, but I'm pretty sure it does. Now, another thing is Melody is going to be so strong in Heist. It is actually going to be insane. Now, the picks for Heist will be a lot more of Melodies in Ranked, because I didn't really see people playing Melody in Ranked, but now it's going to probably be insane. Now, you can say bye-bye to the Chuck mains because the Chuck mains are moving to Melody. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Now, if you did enjoy the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. Otherwise, I just wanted to say that these are my opinions. Now, if you agreed with them or you disagreed, tell me in the comments. Now, if you disagreed, put your rankings, because I'm not really sure which ones are the best since I didn't try them out. This is based on what I think. And yeah, have a good day and bye-bye.